Hello, everybody. My name's Ardendris, and welcome back to All the Mods 10. Last time, we put together the fluidizer and the reprocessor from Extreme Reactors so that we could start working towards the Insanite block that we need for the ATM star. So we managed to get these up and running. It took a little bit longer than expected to get to these actually built and running properly. But we have gone ahead and made a bunch of plutonium, which, when paired with uranium in the fluidizer, gets you veridium. I think it's called veridium. It doesn't actually say there. You can see what it is there. It's right there. That's veridium, I think. Unless I'm misremembering. It's something like that. Anyways, we made this stuff, which when run through, creates Rosinite, which we are going to use for a couple of the later things, the Insanite and the Inanite. That's pretty cool. We already made pretty decent progress as far as that goes. Speaking of which, just as like a little aside thing, I do want to note that this thing with Veridium produces about 280 kilo FE per tick. I don't care too much about how much power this thing produces, but I think it is nice to at least know that, know how if we want to build another one of these and actually use this for power at any point, like in any other mod pack maybe, know what is best for power, I guess, because I just think it's kind of interesting. So, there we go. 280 kilo FE when using Veridium. That's the the second worst fuel source, I believe. So, anyways, between episodes, modpack updated again. This is all messed up. I think, as far as I can tell, it was just like some config changes. Nothing actually changed other than that. So I went through the whole song and dance of like re-uploading and re-downloading, installing everything just for like a tiny, tiny little change. So, anyways, today we're gonna keep working on this. Looking at what's next, not nest. We need to use plutonium in the reactor as a fuel to produce magentite. We need lutecrite and radiculite. Lutecrite is liquid cyanite and plutonium. Easy enough. And radiculite is magentite. This is what you get when you use plutonium in the reactor. So we know this produces 280. I don't actually care about it. I'm going to void the reactants. And I guess just put like a stack of plutonium in here. That we'll run through in a moment. Actually, hold on. I can do this fast. I don't actually need to like pump it in like that. I can just go like so. Anyways, plutonium is all poured into here. Very low very low fuel status, but we don't actually care that much. This, as far as I'm aware, should produce a solid waste. Which I should probably do this. I don't think I need more. I don't think I need any more plutonium at this point. So if I run this like so, it's actually taking considerably shorter amount of time to build up heat, but that could also be like fuel storage as well. I think the amount of fuel in it actually changes how much power it produces. Let's do another half stack just to be sure. So that brings us to about 40. I think we technically had more. Actually, no, I think it was only at 37. And as you can see, plutonium is significantly less, yeah, significantly less efficient than verdurium at this point. But that's fine. We don't actually care about it. We just want it to start producing stuff for us. Any just things with this? I don't think I have like a lot of control on like producing reactants and the waste products. That's just gonna keep going. And I'm just waiting until this thing's producing enough. Turn it off for a moment. Did I make this thing too? I think I might have made this reactor too efficient. I might have to take out some of the emerald so it works a little bit better. Or so that it produces waste a little bit faster, rather. Because if I remember correctly, that's what the emerald blocks in here are meant to do. They make it run more efficiently. So there's that. Did it immediately turn back on as soon as I fixed it? No. Uh, so let's just see. Let's just do this. And there we go. It's back up and running. Turn it back on. We were at like 180 or 190, something like that. Fuel burnup is technically very slightly higher. Um, yeah, 193 fuel burnup, 43.4, 43.2. It's so slow. I'm going to need like a pretty decent amount of this stuff, aren't I? Like, hmm. This isn't trying to produce magentite as a liquid. It is producing magentite as a liquid. I didn't think it was going to. I was expecting to create solid magentite. I guess maybe if I had or if I didn't have the fluid output, it would produce it solid. Eject waste contained in the reactant places ingots. Out mode, eject waste over here. Interesting. Ah, dang it. So messed that up slightly. Use up a different one. There we go. Magentite is storing up. Didn't quite go as planned, but oh well. How do you get solid magentite then? Magentite. Solid controls reactor to do. Can I pull it up in the big book of extreme reactors so that I know I have somewhere? I just don't remember. Here it is. Beginning, ores. No, it's not ores I'm after. Can I search in here? Nope, there is no search option because of course not. Is there really not a section on... Is there reactants, magentite, no. And it tells you about yellorium, produces yellorites. Wow, this book kind of sucks. Like, it's cool. Thanks for nothing, I guess. Oh well, it's not like it matters too much. But, like, we can use the liquid. I was just hoping to get the solid because I think it would have been easier. Anyways, this will just keep producing 193. It's very much so less efficient fuel-wise and power-wise. But this magentite right here, how much do we need? Radiculite, 1,000 millibuckets. We can't even produce one radiculite yet, and we're going to need how much again? I'm gonna need 18 radiculites because I need 9 nanites, which is to say 18 there. Means 18 millibuckets of this. So basically, I just have to let this run forever. I guess I'm just going to make this thing as inefficient as possible. Go take out. That was not the right thing. I'm just going to go in here and get rid of all the emerald and just let it run, and then we're going to get to making the other stuff while we wait, I guess. So, see you in a moment. Okay, so while taking out all the emeralds does in fact make it burn through slightly faster, it is a much bigger effect by completely filling it with fuel. So putting 3 stacks of plutonium filled it to 93% full, it's now producing 240. It is still weaker than verdurium at 40%, even with over double fuel capacity, but it is producing and burning through considerably faster now, so we can make one of these radiculites now at least. But while we're waiting, might as well start up on other stuff. I'm going to need all this plutonium that's being saved up. I still have some in here, but probably not enough. So from there, to make the Insanite, we need 8 of these and 9 of these. We already know we're waiting on this. Oh wait, no, it is only 8, so I only need 16 buckets of magentite. Cool. So 8 of these. That is to say 16... Yeah, 16 millibuckets of rosinite and 4 stacks of benatoite. Because it's 4 pour, I need 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 stacks. I wouldn't mind a bunch more than I actually needed. So let's just grab this. This is going to replace this, and I'll grab the bucket in just a moment. Or not the buckets, this thing. So, come on, let me up. So, like so is now input, and this needs to be fluid in. So now, this thing, go away. Solid injector. Wait, how do I... Solid injector, fluidizer, fluid injector. Why is this not working? Exactly. Hold on. Fluidizer. Fluidizer operational modes. Want to combine two solids together. Two fluid. Hmm. Solid to fluid, combining two solids. Do. For example, if you want to convert plutonium into a fluid, you can use one solid injector. That's not what I'm after. You want to combine two solids together in something new, you need solid injector. I want to combine... Okay. So now that you have Rosinite, you can mix it with Benitoite. The fluid injector here... Oh, it's the reprocessor that we need, not the fluidizer. Okay, I'm on the wrong machine. So I need to empty out all the water from this thing and make sure it runs through. Void fluids, void all fluids is easy enough to do. Just go like so. And void fluids, cool. Fluids go in here, grab this thing. This thing is also a reprocessor, right? Okay, cool. So I don't need any more plutonium, so I can just freely do this and not have to worry about it. So like so, and so. Now this thing fills up with Rosinite, and I just need to go ahead and take a full stack of Benitoite in here. And there's two. Yep, there we go. Our first 4 Insanite. Just grab a second stack real quick, do the same thing, and it will run through no problem. And there is all of our Insanite gathered. Now that you have Rosinite, you can do that. Thanks for a free Emerald Furnace. Cool. What should probably be the hardest part of it is now done. And we're just playing the waiting game for the rest of it. We're almost up to being able to do 3. This thing's running through just fine. Okay, so don't need that saved anymore. In nanites, we know we're waiting on. We know exactly what the problem is. Hold off, reticulite. So I guess we'll keep working on making ludicrite, which, if we need 8 of this, which means we need 16 of this. 16 of this means that we're going to need 32 ludicrite. So, let's 32 micro buckets of cyanate, so 32 buckets of cyanite. Simple enough, I believe. Do that so we don't accidentally put something we don't want into the machine. But solid on 1. Fluid solid injector. Take out the fluid injector and instead just fill it like this. Take a stack of cyanites. Should be able to just turn this on, it will become a fluid that will go over here. Then, wait, hold on. I've messed this up, haven't I? Yeah, that's in the reprocessor, and there's no way to pull... Hold on, does this work? It doesn't work. It only holds 5 micro buckets, though. So we have 20 left over. And we already have all of that we're going to need. I messed up slightly, but I don't think it matters, because we're only going to need 8 of these, which only means 8 more. So we're losing 5, but we still have plenty. Cool. So I'll go ahead and void this. This is going to get replaced by this cyanite one in just a moment. And cyanites filled up. This goes here, and switch it over from you. And now, with this, I just I just put plutonium in here, stack of plutonium, and this will run through in just the same way, and now we'll be producing ludicrite instead, and all's well. So, yeah, just waiting on magentite, really? We're up to almost 4 buckets. This is still going. Yeah, as far as I can tell, I just need to keep running through cyanide a couple more times because I'm not going to have enough. But this, we're basically there. That should be just another piece of the ATM star done in like 20 minutes? We're up to 4. Um, is it 1 bucket per? No, that's the Rossinites. Yeah, it's 1 bucket per, and we know we need 16 of these, so that's 16 buckets. We're about the fourth of the way there, so it's gonna be a while, but it's closing in, I guess. So we're out in there, 2 more in there. It should run 3 more if I'm right. Yep, half stack of ludicrite. Half stack of ludicrite is 16 ridiculite. 16 ridiculite is a... Okay, no. We don't actually need to run any more cyanite through. And in fact, we have liquid cyanite in here that's going to go to waste now, don't we? Wait, no? Oh, no, I guess I put just the right amount of cyanite through. Nope, there it is. It's in that pipe right there. So, might as well pipe it in. We're just going to have this all saved all over the place. This can continue getting piped into here. And when all's well and good, we'll be just about there. So, since we're just waiting on magentite at this point, is there anything else? Well, we're obviously going to need to come up with something else to do today, because it took us way shorter amount of time than expected to get this far. Let's see. So that will be that done. That will actually be all of that. For the Philosopher's Fuel, that will be that's leaving just the rainbow coal. Hold on, let me think about this. That'll be the rainbow coal. I need just rainbow coal, and that will be the Philosopher's Fuel done. And that will leave this thing, which I'm getting there. I have no idea how close I am. I don't think I'm very close. Have it. Not very close, not very close, not very close. I think we already have the one of these 3. I think it's the exit portal. That's simple enough. I just need to set up some create auto crafters and put together a bunch of concrete. This thing. So we're a lot closer than I'm thinking we are, but also we still have a lot of work to do. Most of the work at this point is just busy stuff that's a bunch of grinding, though. Modern industrialization? What do we care about? I think the blast-proof casing is going to be easier than whatever else is from that mod. Let's see, where's the blast-proof casing? This one? Yeah, the portable item cell is just really annoying to get, so the blast-proof casing might be easier than that. The uranium quad thing was the thing we're replacing with the blaze spawner, or the blaze thing. And this thing would replace, I believe it's a mechanical arm. I have no idea which of these 2 is actually harder to make. I know how to make the mechanical arm, so I think I'd just be going through this mod to get the blast-proof casing. Have that. Yeah. As far as things I want to do otherwise, besides just work towards the ATM star, the only other mod I can specifically think of on this list that I'm like, yes, I want to do that, is the Undergarden. I want to check out that. Clergy, we took a brief look at. Maybe, that's like ore duplication. I want to see some more of that. Nature's Aura, maybe? It would be a break from some tech mods. Let's see. There's also a different break from tech mods that doesn't actually have a chapter thing, but is also progress, and that would be Roots working towards the crystal staff. You know what? I guess that will be our other thing. I am just waiting for this anyways. So all this gets just gonna get stored away for a while. This thing will just keep running and eventually we'll be fine. Let's start looking at roots, shall we? I actually have no idea how this mod works. At roots. There you go. It's a very small mod on the surface, but apparently it has some cool stuff in this. I think I'm gonna need a casting altar. Let's see. What does this say about it? May look small in JEI, but I can promise you there's so much more to it. It's all about using nature's gifts to make rituals. Why am I getting a spinning wheel of death on my cursor? Trust me, you'll find these items everywhere, so I'm just going to take those sprigs, because why not? And it wants the crystal staff. First, you'll need to place down the casting altar and standing stones in the pattern specified in JEI. Then you'll need to put a diamond block, a stick, and a blaze powder into the altar. Pour incense braziers around the altar. The block of hole in one, acacia bark in another, verdant bark in the third, and birch bark in the last, and light them all. Advanced spell casting. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Use a bark knife on a log. I'm not really sure what this is after. I wish it had a section in here. It definitely should have a magic section for roots. But, oh well, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So what do we have in here? A bark knife? I have a feeling that's, like, very important. Single plank, a single stick, and a bunch of saplings. Easy. Done in a moment. If I remember where my saplings are. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just take a full stack of them. I'm sure I'm going to need them. So there's that. So grab a plank and a stick. That, and that. And I'm assuming I'm going to need various... Does that not count? No, it does. It just didn't want to pop up. So, cool. There's that. I should probably grab some wood essence, because I have a feeling I'm going to need bark from various different types of trees. So, having some of this on hand to just make various woods when I need them is probably a good idea. So there's that. Spell powder. A combination of ingredients that makes up a spell. See runic tablet. Now crush up various things in a mortar to get spell power with various effects. A pestle. Well, I would assume I need a pestle for the mortar. Mortar is 5 of any stone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what do we need for the pestle? Okay, just another 5. So that doesn't work? Oh, that is specifically diorite. I don't think I have specifically diorite on me at the time. There's the mortar at least. How does... oh, that actually has a cute little animation on the... a cute little model on the ground. Cool. So there's that. Let me go grab some diorite. Should I look up a guide for this? Does it have... No, it doesn't have a guidebook, it doesn't look like. Runic tablets. Use? Oh, the guidebook for Roots Classic explains all spells and rituals. Okay, cool. So, going to need any stone, an old root, and some wheat seeds. Cool. So grab diorite, and then we'll head back. Take a full stack, I don't know. So, just grab a handful of seeds. I should really just be hanging out over here, shouldn't I? Because everything I need is in this area. Old roots. I think I have some stored in here. Yep, a couple. I also have plenty of, like, the other berry things as well. So, runic tablet, thank you very much. Make the pestle prematurely. A staff created using spell powder on an imbuer. See runic tablet, cool. So let's just start, shall we? Oh, this is cool. Natural arts, spellcraft rituals, natural arts, spellcraft rituals. Okay, so bark harvesting. Bark harvesting, let's just start here. Trees are very important to natural magic. Using some wood and saplings, you can create a knife incapable... I keep saying the exact opposite word that I want. Capable of softly harvesting the bark from trees, which can be used in recipes and rituals. Right-click to harvest bark from it with a chance of breaking the log bark. Cool. Rare materials. You may find several plants that are crucial for many aspects. 1 in 40 chance when breaking tall grass. They are needed for a lot of early magic, as they are required for spells without modifiers. They can also be eaten to restore a very small amount of health. Verdant sprigs are a little bit more common when you fully grown crop harvest. Um, these bring life to objects. Infernal bulbs will grow at a 120 chance when grown nether warts. We have plenty of these as well. They are imbued with the fire of their home in the nether, so they are useful when a large amount of energy is needed. They can also be used as fairly efficient furnace fuel, or given to skeletons to make them withered. Okay, interesting. Dragon eyes will drop at a 1 in 10 chance from chorus flowers. They are imbued with the same eldritch energy as the Ender Dragon itself. In addition to spell-related uses, they can be eaten for a more powerful chorus fruit effect, or smelted to yield 1 ender pearl. Do I have any of those? I know I have a growing chorus fruit over here. I never thought to harvest it. These are chorus flowers, right? Um, they are. Oh, hold on. This button? What button do I have it set to? Semicolon? Exact items found in 2 locations. I don't think I've gotten any of those dragon things. I mean, I won't worry about it until we have to. This will just produce more flowers at some point. Either that or I just head to the end to gather more. Anyways, I got distracted here. Let's continue reading. Um, Rare materials I just finished up. Growth powder. This simple mixture can grow grass on dirt. Simply right-click to throw a powder at a block, and you'll... Okay, cool. Using the power of another star, you have created a powder capable of mutating new kinds of flora. This powder is only used in very specific circumstances specified in the spell components section of this tablet. Okay. The berries have different effects and be used in spells. By cooking it with some wheat in a bowl, you can create a delicious stew capable of replenishing much more hunger and healing poultices. Okay, so pretty basic stuff in here, just going over like some materials you can find and a couple of like very early game stuff. Spellcraft is like the more important thing, and then there's rituals. Spellcraft, imbuing a staff, modifiers, terra. Oh, these are different spell components. Time stop. The mortar. Let's start here, and then we'll read up on the mortar, and then we'll go over to ritual craft because I think ritual craft is what the important thing for us is. The flora in the world around you seem to have vast untapped power. What better way to access them by mashing them into a pulp? Of course, to mash the aforementioned plants into a pulp, you're going to need something to mash it. This pestle, fashioned out of a smooth white stone, should do the task nicely. Using the mortar and pestle is quite simple. Detailed on the tablet are many recipes for different spells. You will need all of these ingredients, as well as our particular base ingredients. To create the most basic spell possible, simply place in the spell's recipes, as well as an old root. This will allow for a spell with no modifiers. Cool. And then your mortar and pestles yield a fine spell powder for use in spells, but it can't really be used on its own. With this device, you can channel natural energies from that powder into a branch of wood. Simply place in a stick, place in your powder, and wait for your staff to pop out. They're simple to use, imbued with the power of nature. All you need to do is hold right-click to charge up a spell, and after about a second, release right-click to cast it. They have limited uses and will be destroyed completely after their charges are used up. The number of charges can be increased with the use of the efficiency modifier. Cool, so uses here. Spell powder for blistering cold, shielding. Let's see. These are like different spell powders you can use. Looks like spell powder shatter. Where's like the basic one it was talking about? So that was just like throwing an old root for something. Regeneration, Earth Spike, Dandelion Winds, Insanity, Combustion, and Electric Spark. What's the easiest thing for us to do right now? I'm just gonna try one of these things. This thing, I'm sure I have Azure Blue. It's Shatter, White Currant, Spruce, and an Iron. So, just grab them out. I just want to see it work. White Azure Blue it. Here we go. White Currant is the little white berries. So, if I just go like so... Uh, one of these, one of these, one of these, and one of these. And then I'm assuming the thing it was talking about was throwing in an old root. Does that work? And use the pestle on them. Recipe found but missing a rare material mix in. And, there we go. So this is a potential 0, potency, efficiency, size 0, and all that stuff for the shatter spell. And now I'm assuming, let's see, sticks. Put a stick in there with the shatter spell powder. And eventually this will pop out into a staff. Maybe? Did I misunderstand or misread part of that? With this device, you can... Oh, the imbuer! We need to build the imbuer as well. Where is it? On this list. There it is. 2 logs, a chiseled stone brick, and a couple of sticks. How do you make a chiseled thing again? I'm sure I already have them, but I don't feel like running. Okay, yeah, that's what it is. I thought it was something like that, but I wasn't sure. So there's that. Just grab a couple of logs. So build the imbuer. This is as good a place as any to set up all this stuff, I guess. It feels weird doing this on sand. I'll probably move these over in a bit. So give me the spell powder and give me a stick, please. And this should give me a very basic shatter staff for 15 uses. Greedy using things, and what I'm going to assume is that shatter is... Yeah, shatter is block breaking. Why are words so hard? Yeah, a very, very basic, very, very not good shatter spell to break a couple of blocks. Also, we have a new bar above our hunger that I'm assuming is mana, or natural mana, because we have other mana types as well. So, cool. We have our first staff, not exactly very impressive looking, or very impressive powerful-wise, but we did technically do a druidic art spell, and just in time for that to be at like 11 out of 16, so we're getting close. Okay, so we've done our first spellcraft. I keep opening the wrong things. That's imbuing modifiers. We can make them much more power. Potency will improve the strength. Efficiency will improve the casting cost and number of uses a spell has. And gunpowder will make it more effective. For a spell to have modifiers, though, certain base ingredients are required. Roots. Old roots don't allow you to have anything extra. Verdant roots have 1. Infernal bulbs have 2. Okay, so if I want to start upgrading any like spells or whatnot I'm making, I should be using the infernal things, which I know I have plenty of. It's just a question of what did I do with them? Because I harvested a lot of ender pearls, or ender pearls, the nether warts. Here they are, the infernal bulbs. So I guess I'll bring these things over and just hold on to them for a bit. Okay, so we know how to do it. We know how to like adjust spells and all that stuff. Let's get on to ritual craft, I guess. We'll figure out like making cool spells later on. Let's see, Terra. While you hold your new staff in your hand, you notice a power awaken within you, as well as a conveniently placed bar on your screen. These leaves represent a life force deep within you called Terra that powers your spells. All spells have cost a certain amount of this energy, but it will regenerate fairly quickly over time. Cool. So we know how to make things stronger, take less mana, and bigger, and we know that they cost that Terra mana, and we know how to adjust them and whatnot. So, what sort of spells are there? Nether Wart has absorbed a lot from its fiery home in the Nether. Use the above recipe, you can create a spell that will both damage and ignite hit targets. Okay, cool. So Nether Wart, Blaze Powder, Coal, and Charcoal, super easy. Fireball. Interesting that it's called Infernal there, but Fireball elsewhere. Capable of increasing the tick rate of furnaces, brewing stands, or other devices that you target with your spell. Will triple the rate of these devices. Okay, overclock acceleration is cool. Rending strike. Alliums contain a modicum of destructive energy. Simple damage to its targets. In addition to this, if the target is holding item or wearing armor, that equipment will be damaged severely. Insanity. Monsters attack each other instead of me. Earth Spike, pretty straightforward, I'm guessing. Quick defenses walls are a way to duplicate some simple materials like dirt, stone, sand, or gravel. Regeneration, regenerate yourself. Rose Thorns. Dealing raw damage to targets. Do note that the spell will not cause knockback. Okay, growth. Using the above recipe, you can create a spell capable of growing nearby plant life. The spell will target a growable plant around the targeted block and has a chance of applying a bone meal effect to each one. I don't think bone meal works on these, mystical agriculture stuff, so not that great. Ender Warp is just like another little teleport. I'm 100% sure of that. Midnight Blooms. Using the mutating powder in the end, you can create a flower black as night. To create, plant a poppy 2 blocks above obsidian in the end, while under the slowness effect, toss a coal block. So that is so specific. And that will get you an ender flower. Using your pop power, you can create a spell that will stop time for all entities in an area around you. They will not update until the spell ends, during which time you can move, attack, or gloat at them. Okay, that is very cool, actually, but so weird on how to get it. A burning red flower, blue orchid in the nether, make a ring of netherrack around it, while under the fire resistance, toss a blaze rod in lava bucket, and then use the powder. Cool. Large explosions. I mean, who doesn't like a large explosion? Noon tossed on a glowstone block and 1 prismarine crystal next to it, and while under the night vision effect, use the power on the flower. Very high damage to struck targets in a large beam in front of you. Okay, so a freaking ray gun, basically, I'm assuming. Okay, so there's a lot of interesting and fun-looking spells in here, actually. It's just a question of what do you want to do first. I think we're gonna... let's go move on to rituals for a moment. There's just a lot to do with spells. While your acquisition of materials from deep within the earth, you have created a new structure that allows you to cast more powerful magic than ever before. Different rituals may be performed at the altar, each one requiring different components and conditions to operate. Most rituals, if not all, require incense to function. Incense braziers will only be counted if they are within 9 by 9 area around the altar, and on the same level. They may be placed within it and ignited with a flint and steel. They can be extinguished by sneak right-clicking with an empty hand. A typical ritual is cast as necessary, as follows. First, necessary items are placed on the altar, and necessary incense items are ignited. Make sure you don't have any extra ingredients in the altar or extra incenses in the air, or the ritual will fail. Sneak right-click the altar with an empty hand to begin the ritual. Okay, cool. Your rituals are capable of channeling life energy into previously dead objects. Using this, you can grow newer, stronger forms for your wooden tools. Adding a little gold for reinforcement, as well as a verdant spring to grow upon, will grant you tools of similar strength to iron that repair slowly over time. Okay, that's kind of cool, actually. So, burn some oak bark on the things, and then use this, and that'll produce a living axe. Okay, that's just kind of cool. Growth ritual. This is once again bone meal like bone meal like. Does that count? Spark of Life, create a ritual site, burning all 4 of these things, and using these things in the altar. That one might be worth trying. In order to gain access to more powerful rituals, you need a better way to channel life energy from the world around you. By carving rooms into the stone structure, you give it the much-needed ability to draw in power from the world around it to fuel your magical desires. Animal reanimation... given the flesh and bones of a passive mob, these rituals would bring that mob back to life on top of the altar. Okay, interesting. So summoning various animals. Cool. And the crystal staff. For too long, you have been bound by the limited number of uses of your typical staff. Using rare crystals from deep within the earth, you believe you have created a way to store spells indefinitely, the crystal staff. Not only does this keep its spells indefinitely, it can also store up to 4 at a time. Okay, birch bark, acacia bark, block and coal. And then it wants the altar with some incense burners somewheres in this range. And then it wants you to set up, I think these are standing stones, I would assume. Or I'm assuming some of them are standing stones and some of them are enhanced standing stones. The trip to Never, however, you discovered that by using some things. Sadly, it is not very clear on these. Like, it doesn't actually specifically say, adding spells to the staff requires a separate ritual in addition to this ritual's displaying components. Okay, so putting these down, verdant spraying crystal thing in with other things. It must be useful standing on natural blocks. Okay. Okay, so should maybe should look this up. Attuned vacuum. Energized, enhanced, and energized. You've used standing stones to channel life energy before, but never on their own. However, using the innate power within an infernal mob and the regenerative effects of a ritual, you've created standing stones that will perform a simple purpose in an area around them forever without cost. Okay, ritual accelerator stone. Grant all my nearby things. Okay, this is kind of cool. So you can make like a stone that will do passive effects to nearby things for a while, or forever, basically. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. I don't know. There's a lot I still don't understand. Engraved things with like runic focuses. There's just so much here. There's a lot of different rituals. It's gonna take a bit to learn them all. Are we really not gonna get this before we're done? No, I'm gonna wait for the last little bit. So let me double check. I'm gonna look this up online because that tiny little picture I'm assuming means that this thing needs. I'm assuming that those big ones on the edges are going to be the enhanced versions, but there's no real way to tell. It's kind of silly. Like there's no real way for me to say, oh yeah, definitely that's the case. So to build this, I need, can I just do this? Acacia, use a bark knife on log. I was hoping it would just let me use this. So I need a birch log and I need an acacia log. Acacia, thank you. Birch, here it is. Cool. Birch, verdant, block of wool. Yeah, everything else is easy. It's just going ahead and doing this. Cool. Acacia bark, birch bark. Now let me double check. I'm gonna go pull this up just to make sure I know what I'm doing. Because I'm assuming mundane. Where did they go? Which ones are the basic standing stones now? Casting archer, casting thing looks pretty easy to make. And in fact, just grab a block of gold, and I believe that's all. That's not quite everything we're missing. Still missing a poppy. Words are impossible. Why? Who made the English language this hard to speak? Like, why is it so hard to actually say words? I don't understand it. I need a single poppy, and we can get. Nope, that's not a poppy. Where are my poppies? There we go. No, those are roses. Where are my poppies? 1 second. While I'm at it, I'm gonna go pull up to make sure that this needs like the upgraded things. Oh no, I found one. So casting altar. There we go. How much of a space did this need? I think it needs like 4 on each side of it. So I think I should be able to make this little space here work, and this is probably going to be the best. It's going to be weirdly out of line with everything else, though, so that's going to ignore me slightly. But, like, right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably replace some of this sand with the dirt, just to, like, make it look a little bit nicer and just clear out everything here. let me set up the site and let me double check to see if I actually need the advanced stones as well for this ritual. Okay, I couldn't quite find confirmation that it actually is the upgraded things, but I did notice that it technically is a slightly different symbol here. Like, you can just barely make it out. These are like a weird swirl that goes like that. Meanwhile, these things are almost like an E shape. So I'm going to assume that that means we need 9 of the lesser versions. I really grabbed 8. Wait, no, it is only 8. I was doing my math right. So I think we need 8 of these mundane standing stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just do that, I guess. So thank you very much. And then these things go like this. 2 blocks, and then the thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Just finishing up this design like so. Completely forgot to go change out the dirt. Got entirely distracted. Although I should have plenty of dirt still on me, right? Plenty of dirt is 63 dirt. That's all I have on me at the moment. That's... Oh yeah, I guess I did go ahead and like uh, consolidate a bunch of it, like with the thing here. What's it called again? Compressor. Compressor, that's what it's called. Anyways, the ritual is partly set up, and then I believe I'm going to need 4 of those incense burners, which is to say 4 cauldrons. 1, 2, 3, 4 incense burners, like so. Go like so. I forgot a step here. These just have to go somewhere in the circle as well. And then 4 of the attuned standing stones. Tuned standing stones. I already went ahead and got some nether bricks because I did look at the recipe beforehand. And then these go like here, right? Yes, 1 block gap, and then they go like so. Yes, that is definitely the other symbol I saw. Cool. So with that, I believe it's now just a matter of putting everything together. So 1 of these goes here. 1 of these goes here. And then it's a block of coal and 1 of these sprigs. That and that. I'll grab a flint and steel. I'm fairly certain I always carry one on me. But no, I have a salt. I have this matchbox thing. Does this work? It doesn't. I'm sure I have a flint and steel somewheres. Um, Apparently not on me. Weird. I thought I always carried one. I always have flint, obviously, but whatever. Well, deal with that in a moment. What we need is a diamond block, a stick, and a blaze rod, or blaze powder, rather. So 1 of these, 1 of these, and blaze should be simple enough. There's that. So it should be as simple as that, that, and that. Just to double check, how are we on this? Ah, we're there. Cool. Actually get... What am I doing? This gets put... I did it again. I did it again. The whole point of the magentite... Magentite goes in here. Where is my wrench here? Here it is. And I'm gonna need the ludicrite. So magentite goes in. Once again, void it. So this goes through like that. That will go in, and then that will produce the ridiculite. And then ridiculite gets run back through with, I guess, this rosinite, because I was a goof and messed it up again. Actually, just do that. And then that. And I guess I'll just put a... Where are my universal pipes? Here they are. I was like, I know I had extras on me. It'd be weird if I didn't. So do that, and then I'll do that. So this thing will start putting in rediculite as well, magentite, 16 ridiculite. Head back over. Well, we're gonna do the crystal staff ritual before we're done too. We're already set up to do it, so we might as well. I just want to see this done. Another mining gadget. We got one of these last time, and it's really cool, but it's weird that after so long, we got 2 of them back to back. And nanites, put these things back in, like so. Grab out, clear out magentite. I also have just not run anything else to check its, like, fuel capabilities. I've just been letting this go. Turn this off. I don't need it on anymore. So with that, we now have 8 in nanite. Grab out our 8 insanite and a block of netherite. So with that, there's another ritual thing done. Wow, thanks for a bunch of experience I don't need. That's so useful. A block of a nanite. Thank you very much. I don't think that's any ritual. And then a block of insanite. If I can press the right button. A block of insanite. There we go. Blocks some uses a coil inside. It's just used for that. And it's used for bee flowering. So this thing really just exists to be used as like a really, really high-end turbine. Thanks for the free uranium. Cool. It was 12 uranium, so I guess it's something. So this gets to join this up here. Yeah, that's 8. I thought that was all 9 for a moment and I was miscounting. But that, in turn, is another piece done for the ATM star. Thanks for the free one that I'll never use. Give me back my Morgan. Like, I'll never use that for anything. Let's finish up the ritual and then we're going to end off. I just need a flint and steel. Flint and steel. What? I didn't look up. I didn't look up to see that there was already 4 in there. So, anyways, that brazier is now burning. Brazier is now burning. Brazier is now burning. Brazier is now burning. And I believe I just go ahead and right-click the middle block here. That's probably the thumbnail right there. I can't. It's hard to get the whole ritual site in. Sure, that's it. That's okay. That's gonna be it. Why'd I do that? Give me back the blaze rod, please. I need to shift right-click this. Ritual started. Nope. That's the thumbnail right there. I wonder how long this takes. Oh, it happened. And in turn, we now have the crystal staff. I mean, it looks cool enough, I guess. And that is another important part of the ATM star done today. Thanks for the free level. What is this thing used for, actually? The black hole? The black hole. We already have that. That. Easy enough. I think we already have that one. I'm going to hold on to this for now, but I am going to go see up here. Like, where would this go? This would be joining this line right here. I just haven't made the extra one. What did I do with the paradox machine? That is an excellent question. What did I do with the paradox machine? Here it is, paradox machine. So this should go up here, but it's very expensive to use, like, too hard to maintain using it, basically. So there's 4 out of 9 on this one. We already have this one. I would like to learn how to make them, though. We got them for free. Oh wait, no, I did already put one there. That. Why don't I have 5? Oh, the lightning bomb. There it is. It was in the wrong place. This thing, easy enough to build. I just haven't. This thing looks relatively easy to build. Those things gonna be a problem, though. But anyways, that's probably a pretty good place to end things off. I left behind the staff. I didn't actually want to leave behind the staff. In fact, I'm probably going to make an extra staff so that we can actually use it. But for right now, I want to thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have, and I hope to see you next time. So, without further ado, take care, everybody. I want to thank everyone one more time for watching, and a special thank you to the channel members. Yamato Tanagura, Goddess of the Star-Filled Void, and the Phantom Knight. Thank you three so much for the extra support. So for real now, take care, everybody.